Welcome to the Do Business Like a Woman show. It's your Monday inspiration. And today I'm talking about trusting the divine feminine to guide us in our business decisions. So this can be harder than it sounds. You know, I didn't know until the last minute what I was going to talk about today, and I've been considering what to talk about for a few days, but usually something comes through me and I kind of write up beforehand, you know, what I want to say and the topic. And for this one, nothing was coming. I didn't have clarity right until the very last minute that I sat down, and then it became clear. So I want to talk about trusting the divine feminine because, as you know, this group is all about doing business like a woman. So what does that actually mean? Well, it means many things, but one of the things it means is that it's time on our planet to bring the divine feminine back in, to trust her, and to bring balance, because the patriarchal society, the masculine way of doing things, has been running rampant unchecked for too long and has caused a lot of harm on our planet. So this is not about doing a pendulum swing the other way and going, you know, to a matriarchal society, but this is about bringing balance, bringing wholeness through our businesses, in our lives, in our relationships. So for me, these past few weeks, I've been going through some stuff in business, as we always do. And I have been really called by my soul to make some difficult decisions. And really having to lean into my divine feminine and practicing a level of trust that hasn't really been there at this level before. Trusting that when I make the decisions that my soul is calling me to make and take the direction that my inner being is prodding me to go in, that I will be held, I will be supported, no matter how scary. You know, oftentimes in business, our logical mind wants to come in and it wants to say, it wants to keep us safe. You know, our ego wants to come in and it wants to talk about small things like, well, how are you going to pay the bills? And okay, that's important, right? We can't be. We have a level of practicality here. We are living on this physical plane. But oftentimes our ego and our logical mind keep us small because we've been so conditioned to live purely in our logical, masculine, linear way of thinking. And so it can keep us from making the empowered decisions, the big decisions that would really have us going where we need to go in our businesses to become empowered, to become bigger, to reach more people. It keeps us playing small. You know, it can look like holding on to a client for too long because you're scared of what will happen if you let go of that client. You know, and maybe you really love that client, you love that person, and it's been a great time working with them, but your soul is telling you it's time to move on. It can look like not investing in a coaching program that you know will move you forward because you're frightened that you won't do the work, or you won't get the results, or that you won't make the money back. It can look like so many things. It can look like being overwhelmed. And that may sound funny because you're like, well, what does overwhelm have to do with trusting the divine feminine? But actually it has everything, because when we fully trust our feminine and she says we need to rest, we're going to prioritize rest and self-care, even if it's difficult, awkward, and not particularly convenient. And even if it's going to upset some people, right? This is serious stuff. But when we listen to our feminine, the divine feminine will always guide us, you know? And then the masculine is here to bring the logical, to take the action steps, to put containers in. But the problem comes, and for most of us, we are too in our masculine energy, too in our logical minds and our here on this physical plane, and it's not allowing our souls to expand. And what this can feel like inside, it can feel like contraction. For me now, as I get more and more attuned with my feminine guidance, when I do this to myself, when I don't listen and I resist, it becomes so uncomfortable now. It's like literally going against everything that's inside of me, and it feels squeamy. That's not a word, but it is now. It's a word here on the Do Business Like a Woman show. It feels like contracting and twisting into shapes and trying to keep people happy, and it feels constricting and it feels exhausting. Whereas when I listen and I make the brave decision and I trust that even though it feels like stepping off a cliff, that I'm going to be caught, because this is not an overnight flippant decision made out of emotions. This is something, the way this is something that won't go away. So you can go to sleep and you can sleep on it. And when you wake up in the morning and you check in and you get really still and really quiet, this will still be there. This is your knowing. This is your divine feminine talking to you. You know what she's asking you to do. You may not always want to do it. And sometimes it's easier than others. Sometimes it's a small thing, like get up from your desk, go and move your body. I just did an interview for the Thrive Summit, which is coming up really, really soon, the Thrive Virtual Summit. And I was interviewing this amazing lady who talks all about feminine energy. She's a beautiful belly dancer. She has so much grace and presence. And we were doing hip circles. And sometimes our body just wants to move. Sometimes the feminine just wants you to get up and go for a walk from your desk and take a few sips of water. And sometimes she wants you to invest in that program. Sometimes she wants you to let go of a client and move on. Sometimes she wants you to make a decision about a business partner to bring on, or something to do in your business, or a change of direction that feels different and scary and isn't necessarily logical, right? That's one of the key things about the feminine, the divine feminine. It's not logical, but it's that intuition. It's that deep knowing. It's not like, oh, I get angry at a client and I just decide not to work with them. It's not little girl energy. It's coming from inside of you. So what is your divine feminine guiding you to do in your business? I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you're being called to do. Leave me a comment. Leave us a comment. This is a safe space. I'd really like to hear from you. And are you going to listen? And does it feel scary? It does for me. I've been called to make some decisions in my own business, big changes of direction, letting go of certain things, and it's hard. Letting go of certain people that I love very much and I've had a great time working with. But it's clearing that space for the new, and it's trusting that we get this guidance for a reason. And we will be supported, even if it doesn't always look like it in the moment. So leave me a comment, lovely, and just start to listen to that divine feminine inside of you. Lots of love. I'll see you on Thursday for the business tips. Bye for now.